DJ Romeo, originally from the Bay Area, but I reside in Las Vegas now. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So why don't we start off by talking a little bit about your background? Because I actually don't even know much about your background.
Okay. Well, I was born and raised in the Bay Area, in a city called Richmond, California. I don't know if you know where Richmond's at.
Yep, definitely. I'm from Fairfield.
Okay, there you go. So, my neighborhood, it wasn't the best neighborhood growing up. It wasn't super bad, but it wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
And, at that time, I was in high school, and everyone around me, all my friends growing up, they were getting into trouble because it's just really easy to find your way into trouble in that neighborhood. So I was, my friends were like, either getting into drugs or going to jail or just doing really stupid things. And my brother, he was a DJ, and he's seen, the environment I was in, seen the people I was growing up with. And he thought, maybe he could get me into DJing as a hobby to keep me off the streets. So I gave it a try, and, I gravitated. I was like interested in it, but it wasn't nothing that I thought I could do, as a career full time. Because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And, I was in high school. I was just trying to figure things out. I knew I didn't have a lot of money. I knew I didn't have the best grades, but I just knew I needed some kind of outlet. So it worked. Every day after school, I would come home. I would go in my room. I'd practice DJing, and I wasn't really getting into any trouble because all my friends were like, "Hey, come on, let's go out and do this." And I go, "No, I'm gonna practice." Like, what are you practicing? DJing. Oh, okay, yeah, you do that. So eventually, I started doing. I got booked to do like my school dance, like that. That's a big thing for me. Like, I got booked to do like little private parties, and I remember doing my first high school dance. Like, I didn't even know how to hook up my equipment right. The sound was buzzing, and the security was yelling at me, calling me like, "Man, you don't know what the hell you're doing." And people were bullying me. It was a terrible experience. I laugh about it when I think about it, right? So, after high school, I went to college. I went to Cal State Hayward, East Bay, and I went there for art, digital graphics, and marketing. And then after that, I knew that all throughout school, I knew in the back of my mind I wanted to do something with music. So I was practicing all those years of high school music, and now I'm here in college taking art, which I love art. I love marketing, I still do that. But my passion, like what I wanted to do in life was music. Something with music. I just didn't know what it was. So I remember I was going through school one time, and I graduated everything, and I started, interning, doing graphic design and stuff like that. And I even opened up my own design firm, independently. And at the time, I didn't like it. I liked designing for myself, but I didn't like designing for other people. And music was calling me, but that was the only way I was making any type of income. So I told my dad at the time, I said, "Dad, I'm going to try this DJ thing full time. I don't know if it's going to work or not."
Aren't you Filipino?
Yeah.
Were you allowed to do that?
Exactly. And my mom was like, "Hey, you stop that. Go be a nurse. Be a nurse. Go to the medical field. What are you doing? Be a nurse." I'm like, "No, I don't want to do that." But my dad, he was like, "Do it. Do whatever you want to do." That's right. And I got a job at Chevron as a gas station attendant.
Nice.
Yeah, so I was doing that just to support myself. And I told my boss, I was like, "Hey, one day I'm going to be a DJ. And for me to do that, I can't work on the weekends because I need to be out networking and stuff like that." And she gave me weekends off. So I told my dad I never want to work again. I told my dad that I want to DJ full time. And my boss said at Chevron, the gas station, she said, "I'll give you weekends off to pursue that." And that's what I did. I pursued it full time. And there's certain things I remember in my life. I remember my boss, she was super motivational for me because she gave me that opportunity to pursue that. And my dad was like, you know, go pursue your dream, go do it.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, I mean, that transformed into, you know, pursuing a DJ career from college to eventually it got to nightclubs. And then from nightclubs, you know, everything kind of worked its way from there too as well.
How did you start getting your first gigs in college? So when you actually started taking DJing seriously, how did you start getting those gigs?
So in college, I remember there's one specific moment too, is I was trying to find my, you know, trying to figure out how to, you know, DJ in college,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the parties in college. And I remember this guy who was in my class, I specifically remember this, and he was a DJ too. And he said to me, he goes, hey, we're having a frat party. Do you want to come? I was like, yeah, of course I'll come.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the frat party with him, and they had like a DJ set up in the garage. It's like a house party. And I was like, hey, you know, I DJ too. I was like, I would love to DJ one of your parties one day. And then I remember he specifically said, you know what? Maybe one day when you're good enough, you try out for us. And I was like, okay, yeah, all right, I'll do that. So that motivated me, like, okay, well, you know, it's not his fault because he had no idea what I was working on.
Mm-hmm.
So that day I went back home and I went back into my studio and I made like a mix CD at the time.
Nice.
And I stayed up for like a week straight just duplicating CDs. And then when I got back to campus, I just passed out these CDs to everybody to, you know.
Old school
way, yeah. Then about a month later, he's like, hey, I heard your CD. Do you want to DJ at a party? I'm like, nah, not right now, but, you know, thank you.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. So then you got your first DJ gig from just passing out those CDs?
Around campus I did, yeah. That's how people around school start hearing me. From that, someone who was in the sorority passed that CD out to someone who was in the sorority at SF State.
Oh, nice.
And then that girl, that sorority, they started throwing nightclub parties, and then they booked me and my buddy. So that's how I got the into San Francisco nightclubs.
Were you advertising yourself and doing all the graphic design and marketing for yourself during that time?
Yeah, and like I said, like to this day, I still use, you know, the knowledge I used in school, the graphic designing, for myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even all the artwork and all the marketing material and the content I put out now, that's the stuff that I learned in school.
Do you have a manager that helps you with all of that stuff?
I ended up getting an agent maybe in 2015.
Okay.
And before that, it was just doing everything on my own. And the only thing an agent does for you is he doesn't book you anything, but it's like bad cop, good cop. So I'm like the good cop and he's like the bad cop. So for instance, say like you want to book me for a show, and then you have like a certain rate in your mind, and I have a certain rate in my mind. So instead of you asking me for like, hey, can you play at this place for this amount, I'll send you to my agent, and my agent will be the bad cop.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't seem like you're being sketchy or you're trying to overcharge them or anything.
Exactly, yeah. So he basically works out my rates for me. That's it.
Okay, and then he gets a percentage of it.
Percentage, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And how did you get the agent? Was that when you started becoming big? Someone came up to you and recruited you?
That one was because, and that's another subject, like a lot of upcoming DJs, like they have the perception that they need to be on some type of DJ agency, which isn't true at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know a lot of successful DJs that aren't on any agencies. You know, they're out there, they're networking themselves. But mine happened to come along. I worked my whole life to make it to Vegas, to Las Vegas. That was a goal I set out to do. And he had pushed me while I was DJing in Vegas. He had just started his agency. He had one guy on the roster. You know, he just started. So the start was me and this other guy. and he's like, I'm starting something new. I think it's going to be cool. I want to be a part of it. And I was like, at the time, I didn't have the agent, and I was like, let's just give this a try, you know. And now he has some of the biggest acts on his roster now.
Oh, that's cool. It's like a DJ startup, basically.
Yeah. I was part of his startup.
That's cool. And he's still your agent today?
He's still my agent today. Yeah. I mean, things have changed though, because, you know, I was like the first one or two people on the agency.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of like his first child.
Yeah.
Now he's managed. Now he's booking like festivals and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So of course I've like moved down the totem pole with priorities. So I have to like hunt him down nowadays.
But you still play these really big gigs. Like when this coronavirus stuff was not happening, you managed to become the resident DJ for the 49ers, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's my team. I mean, that itself was a crazy experience. I mean, it's still a crazy experience. I was just with them in the Super Bowl, you know, in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
You know, part of the team big time. I'm at the practices. I do, you know, the GM had a birthday party. I DJ'd his birthday party with his family.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you know, a lot of the guys on the team are my friends. Like, it's a close-knit family franchise circle. It's crazy when you think about it, because, you know, I was just a kid in Richmond. I used to wake up early in the morning and watch the Niners on TV with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had this moment of looking back. You know, it's crazy. When you DJ, you never reflect. It's always like, what can I do next? How can I get to the next level? Like, what's my next goal? And you never step back and like, hey, this is what I'm here, and now I'm here. Like, okay, you know, let's reflect for a minute. And I finally had that reflection was when the Niners were in the NFC Championship game a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was DJing at that game on the field, and then I don't know why, but like it was such a crazy experience. Like Jerry Rice came out, and he's like hyping up the crowd, and he runs by me, and he's saying what's up to me, give me a pound like this. And I just gave a pound to Jerry Rice. I'm on the field DJing the 49ers. It's like 50,000 people going crazy. And I just stopped for a second. I was like, man, I thought back. I was like, I'm just a kid from Richmond, California that was in my bedroom practicing DJing in front of nobody. And now there's 50,000 people that I'm playing. It was insane. So
that's like every Bay Area DJ's dream.
It was a dream. It was a dream come true.
So you booked that gig because you knew the family, the GM's family?
No, so the sporting event thing. So after I started DJing through college in a nightclub in SF, I was thinking of other ways to, you know, expand what I was doing, you know, because at that time I was DJing all the nightclubs already. And so I started getting into TV. I started hosting a TV show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like a hip-hop TV show. I was a host for that. And then I started doing the radio station in the Bay Area. So I started doing radio, had my own radio show. And then from there, I was like, what else can I do? And at that time, one of my buddies, his girlfriend worked for the Warriors.
Mm.
So she's like, hey, I see you doing, you know, radio. I see you doing TV. I see you doing nightlife stuff. She's like, do you want to DJ for the Warriors one night? Of course.
Why not?
I've been a Warrior fan my whole life. You know? So, you know, I remember they were super good. I was a little kid, and then they were like really, really bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I got the chance, and this is when they were really, really bad, by the way.
Yeah, okay. I remember those times.
Yeah.
I tried to put them behind me.
Yeah, so I was like super, super excited. I was like, oh my God, DJ a Warrior game. You know, they showed me at halftime. I was like, the energy for me was super high, right?
Yeah.
We lost by like 40 points that night, right? Everybody was bummed out. You know, with my halftime show, everyone was just like bummed out. We're losing by like 30 at halftime.
Damn.
Man, I was like, this is not good. No, they're not going to bring me back over that. So, you know, I kept following up. Whole season went by, they never brought me back. I was like a jinx. Like, man, we lost like 40 points.
It was all your fault.
Yeah, that's all my fault. Eventually, they started bringing me back, like, next season, and it had to be sporadically of that. So then I started getting used to doing sporting events because now I was doing the Warrior events.
Mm-hmm.
They had their own DJ, but I was doing the guest spots. So from there, my buddy started DJing stuff for the SF Giants.
Okay.
And he seen me doing stuff for the Warriors. So my buddy from the SF Giants, they started having him do stuff for the 49ers. And he was like, hey, let's create a super team of DJs, of Bay Area DJs for the 49ers. You're doing the sporting events for the Warriors. I'm doing stuff for the Giants, and let's make a super team for the Niners. And that's how it started. That's
awesome. Was that so? I know you're friends with some of the really big DJs in San Francisco, like J.S. Spinoza, Miles Medina, and all of them. Was that the group that was doing the sporting events with you?
E-Rock, my buddy E-Rock.
Oh, nice.
For my entire life. He was doing the Giants stuff. And then when he went over to the 49ers, he's like, let's create a super team. So at the time, our first season with the team, it's kind of a learning thing. We had some really good DJs. We had Miles on there. Miles Medina was one of our guys.
Nice.
What else we had? We had E-Rock, of course. It was that first season. Jay Espinoza was doing the Raiders stuff at the time.
Okay.
He still does stuff for the Raiders, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And is your brother still DJing? Was he also in this group?
No, so my brother, we took a completely different career path. So my brother, he still does DJ. Mm-hmm. But there was a time in my life where, my brother was teaching me how to DJ. And this is kind of where when I started nightclubs in SF. He was a really big guy in the music industry. Mm-hmm. There was this kid underneath him. So everywhere I'd go, I was in his shadow. Like, hey, you're my brother's name is Rob. Mm-hmm. Hey, you're Rob's DJ. You're Rob's brother. Well, nice to meet you. Like everywhere I go, I would try to network this place. Oh, hey, you're Rob's brother.
Oh, I know how that is. I'm a little sister.
Yeah. So everywhere I go, like no one would take me serious if I try to network and DJ somewhere because I was always, Rob's brother. And at the time, we were playing the same exact music, because I would learn a lot from him. Mm-hmm. So, he was doing 106 KML at the time.
Nice.
And I wasn't doing any radio. So I made a decision. I was like, I have to do something completely different. Mm-hmm. And he helped me out a lot. I'll tell you a story about that too. Is one time we were in a music, it was like a retreat, and I want to say like Puerto Rico. They flew out a bunch of DJs to do this music retreat, and my brother was there, and it was like nothing but like like Kanye West was there, 50 Cent. These were before they were just blowing up. Mm-hmm. And he was like, my brother, he's really connected in the music industry, like I said, and everywhere I'd go. He was like interested. Hey, hey, this is my little brother Romeo. Hey, my little brother Romeo. The whole retreat. And then I pulled him aside and I was like, hey, Rob, I appreciate you introducing me to everybody, but can you not introduce me as your little brother? Just introduce me as Romeo because I'm trying to, make a name for myself. Mm-hmm. He goes, you know what? No problem. I got you, bro. So the very next day, I'd see him around, in like the reception area or something like that, or in the lobby, mm-hmm. and I'd wait for him, and he'd just completely ignore me, like he didn't know me.
That's the completely opposite direction.
Completely opposite. So then they got even more serious. So they shuttle all of us to some nightclub in the middle of Puerto Rico, downtown Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. And I remember it was like 50 Cent performing.
Yeah.
And they shuttled us with a bunch of, it was maybe like 50 of us, but we were in the middle of Puerto Rico with all their locals. And it was a rough club. Like it was very, very unsafe, super unsafe. Mm-hmm. So this riot breaks out inside the middle of the club. Riot breaks out. DJs are running for their lives in the middle of Puerto Rico. We're all running out of the club. I was with Big Von. I don't know if you know Big Von from Cameo.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So me and him were running out the club, running for our lives. This is it was just a panic outside of this nightclub, and everyone was trying to get, like flee.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see my brother. He's in a car. He's in a car with Chewy Gomez at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I flagged him down like, Rob, save me. I was like, let me get a ride. Let me get a ride. I remember he stops the car. He rolls down the window. And this is where everyone's running for their lives. He goes, no, you said you want to be on your own. And he drove off. He left me in the middle of Puerto Rico. So that was my lesson. And right there from that day, I respected that, and I made my own name. I went my own way.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's a crazy story for you to have started going to make your own name for yourself.
Yeah, so when I got back to the Bay Area, I applied for the opposite radio station to him. I applied for, I started going for a different nightclub that he played at.
Wow. Do you guys still have that sibling rivalry?
Oh, it's not a rivalry at all. Like it's all fun and games. Like I talk to him every single day.
Oh, nice. Is he in Vegas with you?
He's not. He still lives in the Bay Area.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though. So you were able to pretty much make a name for yourself on your own then.
Yeah, I had to. Yeah, I had to. If I didn't, I to this day I'd be Rob's brother.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I have two older brothers. I'm Randall's and Anthony's younger sister. Everywhere.
So you get Anthony's younger sister.
Yep. And
it's funny because no matter how grown up you are, you'll still be Anthony's little sister to some people, right?
Yep, exactly. Some people don't even know my name. But that's okay. But what was your process? Because being a DJ, obviously you have the creative side to it, but then there's a lot of the business side that you have to understand too. So what was your process around, like, I'm going to get my name out there. This is how I'm going to market myself. This is how I'm going to get 5 gigs in a week or something. How did you do that?
That's a very good question. DJing, it's very musical, of course, because you have to have talent. And I tell DJs all the time, like you have to have like hard work and hustle and grind. That'll get you inside places. That'll get you indoors. But the talent is what's going to keep you there. Mm-hmm. Because you could get into these places, and if you don't have the talent, you're not gonna come back. And my whole thing was when I was, trying to make a name for myself, I was thinking of like, how can I bring value to myself? Because everybody, I was competing with everybody. I'm still competing with people, other DJs, and I'm not. There's other DJs that are more talented than me. I'm not the best DJ in the world. There's legendary DJs, but some of those DJs, they lack the business side, the hustle part, And I think that's what I learned early on was I got a name for myself because I started networking. Like I didn't want anyone to outwork me networking wise. Mm-hmm. Number 2 was I was like, how can I bring value to myself, DJing? So I took ownership in everything I did. So if I got booked to DJ just, a small bar with 50 people, I took ownership in that. I made that, I promoted that to my circle of friends like it was going to be New Year's Eve on Wednesday night for 50 people. But I took ownership of that. And people would see that, so now I'm bringing value. Like, hey, we're booking this guy, but he's taking ownership in this. He wants to be a part of our team. He's going the extra mile to be a part of something. So after I built a small following, I was like, let me start throwing my own events. So I started throwing my own events, which was called Industry Tuesdays. It was a Tuesday party.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, it was a Tuesday party. It was an off night. And that ended up being like a 7-year run. A Tuesday party packed 7 years straight. I did that. So that's how I built up a name in San Francisco, because people would see like, hey, who's this DJ throwing this party on Tuesday night? It's packed. So other people would start booking me because they seen that what I was bringing on Tuesdays. Eventually, nightclubs seen that too, like in Fusion Lounge. So Fusion Lounge was like, hey, you know what? We will hire you to play every Wednesday if you stop your Tuesday, but we'll let you curate your own Wednesday, and we'll give you other incentives, like we'll let you book other people, we'll let you program our other special events. So now I'm doing DJing and I'm programming events. Now I'm booking talent for a nightclub. So now, you know, and then they're like, okay, another club seen me doing that, and like, hey, well, we see you DJ, curating, and booking talent. Why don't you now help put together our anniversary parties? So now I'm putting anniversary parties for other nightclubs. And it just kind of like every little step that I kept doing, I kept trying to grow off the next step. So at the end of the day, what I was doing was not only that I was building steps, but I was bringing value to everywhere I'd go, because now instead of walking the door like, hey, I could DJ your party. No, now I could DJ your party. I could curate the event to like, hey, this is the theme of the party that we should do. These are the DJs we should bring in on top of me. This is who else we should hire. And this is the night we should do it.
How did you value yourself as a DJ? So I know a lot of DJs struggle with figuring out how much they should make in the beginning. How did you figure that out for yourself?
It was just kind of the rates of around the town, you know, like, well, if you'd find out like, okay, well, this top guy, he's getting paid this amount. And then, well, I'm doing this, and this. So, I think my value is what I should be paid. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I was being paid undervalued when I first started. Like, to all inspiring DJs out there, don't expect your first gig to be thousands of dollars, because it didn't work. It doesn't work that way. People will say, hey, you should never DJ for free. Now, you know what? When you first DJ, like my first gig, my first house party ever, I did for free. I remember I got like $50. Some other, my first bar was like $50 or something like that. But the thing was, I knew that every time that I was bringing more value, that I knew that I needed to raise my rates to what I deserved.
How did you start networking with people outside of the Bay Area? Because I know you had a huge network in the Bay Area, but how did you start landing gigs? Because now you play globally, which is pretty awesome. So how did you start landing gigs that were outside of California, including the worldwide ones?
Well, I started doing like out of town stuff just by going out of town. And I tell people this all the time, like, wherever, if you want to play somewhere, like any nightclub, go there and hang out there. Just keep going there. And eventually you're going to meet someone that you need to meet to play there. Like, I always tell people, go hang out where you want to work. Because eventually, even if you just hang out at that place, at the bar or some of that, you're going to run into, someone that works there too. And then you're going to meet them. And then eventually you'll meet the right people. And that's how I got into Las Vegas. Las Vegas, it took me 2 years to get into Las Vegas. And this goes from like the whole out of town thing of, doing it like globally. I'll just use Las Vegas as an example. It took me 2 years. I did everything possible in the Bay Area. I felt like I had, I was doing the sporting events. I was doing the nightclub, radio, TV. And I felt like there was just nothing else that I could do. So I was like, I want to do Las Vegas. It's the #1 entertainment capital of the world. And, for DJs, this is like, the Mecca. But at the same time, Las Vegas is one of the hardest markets to get into, because you figure out it's every top DJ from around the world has the same dream as me. So we're all chasing the same dream. There's a guy in LA who's doing what I'm doing in the Bay Area, but maybe even bigger. He's moving to Vegas to chase the same dream. So what I did was I invested in myself. I all the money I was making back in the Bay Area, I would spend on flights and hotels in Las Vegas. And any night I had off, I would fly to Las Vegas. If it was a Monday night, Sunday night, I'd book a plane ticket to Vegas. I'd book a hotel, and I didn't know anybody here in the town. But I would just go to these clubs and network and meet people. And I wasn't going here to party. I was going here with a mission to somehow DJ here one day. So I was going broke doing it. You know, all my income, you know, was supporting this dream I was chasing. You know, I didn't have any, all the stuff I was doing at home, I had no money to show for it because networking here is expensive. You know, if you buy somebody a drink here, it's $30 just for, you know, a drink, one drink.
Yeah.
And I knew nobody. Hotels, $200-300, flights, $300. This was every single week.
Jeez.
Almost 2 years. And I want to give up because, you know, I was I was like struggling. And after 2 years, I ended up meeting the GM over at Marquee.
Nice.
It wasn't even at Marquee. I was at Hakkasan for their grand opening, and he happened to be there. And I met him, and then that's how I got to Marquee.
What would you do? Would you just go up to the bar and start talking to the bartenders and asking them questions and seeing if they knew of anyone?
At first, I was just by myself, some loner guy walking around the club. And the thing about it is, you know, once you start going somewhere, enough people will start recognizing your face.
Yeah.
Not the name, just they'll know your face eventually, right? It's like, hey, I remember you. So it was a long process too. And another thing about Las Vegas, it's like New York. It moves so fast.
Yeah.
Super fast. So if you don't see, like even this happens for me living here. So if I see somebody in Vegas now, if I see, say like I ran into you, say you came to Vegas. Say you came to Vegas May 1st. And then, you know, you came back to Vegas June 1st, a month away. In Vegas time, that's like 3-4 months because so much has happened in that month. You know, so that's what was happening to me. I'd come back once a week, and it was just enough time for them to remember my face, but not my name.
Like, weren't you here 3 months ago? No,
So
I was here last
like,
week.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, hey, you were here like a month ago. Like, no, I was here last week. Oh, yeah, I remember your face. So eventually that would happen. So I would come here every single week, and then I'd meet somebody, and they'd introduce somebody, and then eventually I would just start meeting people, and then after that I started having friends here, and then after that I started having friends here, like the network grew.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Not everyone has the determination to go out there and just fly to a whole nother state in order to try to book something.
Yeah, that's exactly what I had to do. Yeah.
That's awesome. And then now I know you played globally. So where have you played globally?
The last time I played globally was in December. I did Singapore, Taipei, I think. Oh, Vietnam, Singapore, and the Philippines.
And how do you start booking those gigs?
I've been doing global stuff for a while now, but I started doing that. How did I do that? Some promoters.
Oh, the Philippines is through Ed, right? You were performing at Trademark?
Yep, Trademark. Yep, that's correct. Yep. My buddy Ed, he was a longtime friend. He was from San Francisco, the Bay Area too. He opened up a nightclub in the Philippines.
Nice.
But I started doing Asia before that. I was throwing an 18 over event in San Francisco. It was called.
Wait, were you performing at City Nights?
No, it was called a Club Diesel.
Okay.
It was in the middle of nowhere. And my partners at the time, it was they were really super connected in Asia as well. So until this day, they're really connected. He's like one of my mentors. His name is John Carlo. He booked me in Asia. So that was my first Asia run, and after that, I just networked as well. So that network on top of with Ed, it built a solid network.
Where do you see yourself going as a DJ in the next, say, 5 years or so?
5 years. The DJs I look up to now are like DJs like DJ Mustard, DJ Snake. You know, those are the two DJs I look up to the most. And I say this because they're not only known as a DJ, but they're known as an artist now. And there's a very big difference. And if I could go back in time and tell myself, you know, when I was a kid in Richmond practicing, you know, DJing, I would tell myself to make music too, because that's what I want to do, but I just didn't know how to do that at the time.
So now you're making your own songs that you are distributing?
Yeah. I released my first record in 2019. It did really, really well. It was getting like, I think it was in rotation in 50 radio stations across the world.
Wow. How did that happen?
I got lucky. The song, I put my heart and soul into the song. You know, the idea for the song I've had in my head for years, and I'm finally able to, you know, put it out there for the world. And it just luckily for me, you know, you never know with music. Like, some people are gonna like it, some people aren't. But this one, it took off. Like, people liked it. And I was very thankful for that. I actually was in New York. I was on the Sway Show in New York.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I did debut the song there. It was a big moment, you know.
How did you get on the Sway Show?
It's networking, and you know, the record at the time, it was buzzing already, so it was easy for me to you know, contact them and like, hey, you know, I have this record that's buzzing. You know, let's do something for the Sway Show.
Nice. Sway in the morning. You were in front of a legend.
Yeah, Sway is a legend.
That's cool. And so you see yourself producing more music, and then any other big goals that you see for yourself? Producing music is that's my passion and my goal. Like, I want to, you know, I wouldn't say transform, but I want to, you know, go from just a DJ to being known as an artist. Like DJing it's I love it. I've been doing it my whole life, doing nightclubs my whole life. But I want to get, in 5 years, I want to be to the point where I'm doing music festivals and I'm performing my own music and not other people's music. Do you do a lot of collabs with artists in other countries? Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I think that your goals are definitely attainable, considering how much, I mean, Up All Night is the record that you released, right? Yeah, considering how many plays you've gotten on Up All Night, once you start releasing more music, people are definitely going to flock to it. Yeah, man, thank you so much. I actually just finished up another record right now. Oh, really? Yeah, when are you releasing it? I'll probably release it maybe I'm thinking June. Okay. Is it a summer track? It's a summer track. What's it called? I haven't figured out a name for it yet. That's okay. Can you finish off with just 3 gems that you would give to aspiring or not aspiring artists, but aspiring DJs? Three advice? Three. Yeah, totally. It doesn't matter. I would say number 1 is it doesn't matter like how you start off. You know, like a perfect example for me would be inspiration for me is Manny Pacquiao. You know, you look at Manny Pacquiao's upbringing, his story. He came from nothing, and look at where he's at today, right? And I didn't say I came from nothing, but I didn't come from the best environment. Like all my childhood friends now that I grew up with, they're either dead, they're in jail, or they're on drugs, and it's not their fault. It's just kind of their environment. And my thing is, no matter where you start off at, from the bottom or the top, like anything is possible. Anything is possible as long as you're focused. You know, like there's a lot of things that will set you back.
You know, there was a point in my life I lost Las Vegas. I worked my whole life to get to Las Vegas, and my parents got ill, and my choice was: do I pursue my dream that I worked my entire life for in Las Vegas and move here, or do I stay in the Bay Area and move in with my parents and take care of them until they pass? So they ended up passing. I lost Las Vegas. You know, not coming here, not showing face. I lost everything.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, like I said, anything is possible. So what I did is I packed up, I took a leap of faith, and I moved here again. And I worked even harder to get back. So work hard, you know, believe in yourself, and it doesn't matter where you start. Like, you know, anything is possible.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So the first piece of advice was anything is possible.
Mm-hmm.
The
second piece of advice is I'd say is stay true to yourself. You know what I mean? Like I see people all the time. Like I'm speaking from a DJ perspective. Is they're playing music that they don't enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or they're doing shows that they don't enjoy, and that's not a bad thing to get you started. But eventually, when you get to a certain point, it's gonna catch up to you, and you're gonna be miserable because you're not doing what your passion is. So I say number 2 is follow your passion, whether it be musically or whatever you want to do. Like follow that passion because it's gonna come out at the end.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And then your third piece of advice?
Number 3 is that's a good one. Number 3 is stay humble. Stay very humble. Not only in you know, the music business, but in any type of business you do. Because for me, I use my networking that I've done through my whole life to this day, to what I do. And that's because of, not rubbing people the wrong way, being very thankful. You should be, be very thankful, very humble. And at the same time, don't take anything for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Well, how can people find your music once you start releasing everything?
Go to my Spotify. Spotify right now, Apple Music. It's under DJ Romeo. Or you could go to my website, which is RomeoReyes.com. RomeoReyes.com.
You keep it classy, girl, I love it. Undercover freak, you don't show it in public. Hit the room, then we zoom like it's nothing. A whole different girl, I love it when we fucking.